What if you could take in twice the amount of information in half the time? How cool would it be? How much more information would you be able to absorb? How smarter would you be? How much further in your life would you be able to go? What's up, everyone? I want to welcome you to another episode of Unconscious Communication Secrets. And today we're going to be talking about how to speed read, how to increase your reading speed so that you can take in more information and save a lot more time. Now, to give you a quick analogy of how, or metaphor basically, of what the concept is behind speed reading, I want you to imagine that you have a middleman. Like if you're trying to get something done, like for example, when I was trying to sell my house, I have a middleman. Like I have the real estate agent, but I wasn't able to communicate directly with the person that was buying the house. I had to go through somebody in order to get to that person. And when you do that, it takes a lot more time because you have to wait for this person to get it. It also causes a little bit of miscommunication every once in a while. And so this is the same when it comes to reading. The way that we've been taught to read has a couple of extra steps that we don't really need anymore. And so the whole concept behind increasing your reading time is getting rid of a few unnecessary steps that we were taught that were useful once upon a time when we were just learning how to read. It was useful. However, now not so much. And this is so important because we have more information that is coming at us than ever before. Like for you to, you have the potential to grow so much in today's day and age, yet because there's so much information out there. However, in order to start utilizing or taking in that information, it's going to take you a long time. And so this is speed reading is going to allow you to learn more skills that will take you further and faster in your career in a much shorter time. Now, I'll give you a quick understanding of why this is also so important. 12 years ago, I was just about starting my business. I wanted to have an online business. I started researching and I was spending money and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was about to give up. And what happened was I got this CD by a guy by the name of Matt Morris. Now, Matt Morris was a gentleman who, back in the day, he was homeless. He was living in his car, and he had turned his whole life around, became a multimillionaire, and he talked about his principles for success. And one of them was, if you want to become successful, you have to become an expert. And I was like, okay, become an expert. How am I supposed to become an expert, right? When I first heard it. And he had this bold claim, and he said, you can become an expert in 3 months. In just 3 months, you can become an expert on a particular topic in just 3 months. And I was like, okay, that's again a bold statement. And he broke it down even further, and he said, your average person in the US reads in a lot of countries, reads just one book a year. In contrast, by the way, 6 CEOs who are very successful read 60 books a year. But your average person reads one book a year. Now, let's say your average book is about 300 pages. Okay, if you read just 10 pages a day, which means in 1 month you read one book, then in 3 months you would have read 3 books on a particular subject. If you read 3 books on any particular subject, that makes you more knowledgeable than 99% of the population on that particular subject. Because your average person reads only one book a year. So it's not very difficult. It's like society has dropped their standards so much that it's so easy to become an expert these days. So all you need to do is read 3 books on a particular subject, and you will be more knowledgeable than 99% of the population. And if you are more knowledgeable than 99% of the population, ipso facto, boom, you are an expert. Boom, just lawyered right there. So All you need to do is read 3 books on any subject, and you'll be more knowledgeable than 99% of the population. Now, so this is why, like, if you want to become successful, just become an expert. Being an expert is going to increase your chances at success if you're an expert on a particular subject. If you're more knowledgeable than 99% of the population, you are going to be considered an expert. So let me share with you the speed reading framework. The first concept is something called skimming before you read. Now, let me show you what I mean by skimming before you read. First of all, why do you skim before you read? Skimming before you read is like when you exercise, before you exercise, you warm up, okay? And the same thing is needed for our mind. We need to kind of warm up our mind. It's like a little bit of a stretch for the mind with regards to reading. So skimming before you read is so important because it sort of warms up your mind. But not just that, our brain likes to get the big picture before we go into details. It's like when you walk into a room, before you just look at the plate and what's on the plate, you need to take in the room, right? Our mind is designed to take in everything first, and then to take in the big picture, and then to narrow down to the details. Without the big picture, your mind kind of just needs a little bit of a moment to do that. So what do we do when we skim? Skimming when reading is literally just taking a book. So the best-selling book, Power of Persuasion, and you just go, and literally you just let your eyes go through the book without actually reading. So you just sort of like, and you just allow your eyes to go and glance over the content. So you just, and you do that for a chapter, okay? So you can skim by a chapter or by an article. Obviously, if it's like if it's a novel where it's like a whodunit novel, don't skim, because then you'll find out who did it, right? You might unconsciously know who did it, and it was a surprise. Or if it's poetry and you want to savor it, then no need for skimming. However, if you want to speed read a book, you want to just skim initially before you start the actual process of speed reading. This warms up your mind. It allows your mind to just take in the big picture. Even though you don't consciously read the different words, your mind just warms up to it and is more ready to take in information. So that's the first part. You want to skim. After you've skimmed the chapter, then you start to read, okay? So when you start to read the chapter, you pace your reading. This is by using a finger, or you want to just quickly use your finger to pace yourself, and to go across. Now, why is it so important to use your finger to move across the page? Essentially, I want you just to, for a moment, with your eyes only, just try this with me. With your eyes only, just make a circle around my face, okay? So just like go like this kind of thing with your eyes just around my face. Now, if you've done that without your fingers, without anything, just using your eyes, you're likely to have your eyes will sort of jump a bit, and it's a bit jagged and etc. However, now I want you to try the same exercise. However, use your finger to just go around my face. So just use your finger to go around my face and follow your finger. And what you'll notice is that this time, because your eyes were following a moving target, it was so much easier on your eyes. They didn't jump. They didn't jump and dart, etc. And so when you used your finger to go around, to guide your eyes, it was smoother. It was easier on the eyes. It's easier to follow. Now, so when you use your finger to go across text, it allows your eyes to easily, effortlessly, removing strain, go very quickly. Now, this technique alone, just using your finger, this technique alone can increase your reading speed 50%. Studies have shown just doing that alone will increase your reading speed by up to 50%. So, and then we have other techniques. So, but I just wanted to share with you how important this one technique is. And the reason behind that is because we reduce our regression. When we start to use our finger and pace ourselves, it reduces us going back, because what happens is we tend to reread lots of information. When you're reading a bit of text, we tend to kind of go back and reread a little bit of text and reread it again, etc. So when you're using your finger to pace yourself, you reduce the amount of regression, which is going back and rereading stuff. The third technique is reducing what is called subvocalization. Now, what do I mean by that? When we are taught how to read at school, we're taught to sound out words, okay? So we're taught to say words out. So when you read, you're saying the words, you're actually mouthing the words, and you're hearing the words in your head. The challenge with this is that we think faster than we can talk. Let me repeat that. The brain processes information faster than we can actually speak. So by speaking, by saying the words, we are slowing ourselves down. We don't need to say the words. We don't need to hear the words in our mind. And so it's important for you to be able to get rid of your actual saying of them and hearing it in your mind. So how do you do that? Well, you want to fill your mind with another sound. So if you can hum, so when you read a bit of text, if you just allow your eyes to read, but while you're reading, you just go, or press your tongue against your the upper end of your mouth and hum. And while you're humming, then just allow your eyes to go through. This is a great exercise to reduce that subvocalization, so that you're getting rid of the saying, getting rid of the talking, while allowing your eyes to just take in the information. So those are just some of the foundations when it comes to speed reading, and it's very, very, very powerful and can take you a lot further, faster with your learning than ever before. So to take in more when you read, cut the unnecessary and notice the speed. So that's the phrase of the day. To take in more when you read, cut the unnecessary and notice the speed. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you found this very useful. If you have not yet subscribed, please, shame on you, but please do subscribe. I share a whole bunch of information. Obviously, this is part of my Learning Excellence series. I hope you find this useful. I hope you can share it with someone that may find it useful. And I appreciate you. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I will catch you on another episode really, really soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. One love. Peace out. And I'll see you on another episode soon. Bye for now.